How about now? Okay, as I was saying, this is the clubhouse. David's installing these puck lights. That's what I was showing you. And then thanks, Ben. And then I was saying how this dishwasher is like my childhood in a nutshell. These like buttons are everything. And this knob to lock it closed. I don't even think, it doesn't even fucking work. But yeah, that came with the place. These are the original cabinets. These are not our cabinets. This was a different style. I guess you could choose, but it's not the style we have. And so what was going on up here, so David cut out all the holes, and now today he's going to sand the ceiling and paint it. But what happened over here is when he was scraping the popcorn off the ceiling, because mind you, the popcorn was just falling off the ceiling. So he went and scraped it. It all just kind of fell off because they never primed the wall. So it didn't stick. But this line right here that's on the wall, that was all a gap. They had brought the ceiling down and curved it into the wall instead of bringing the wall up and making a right angle. They brought the ceiling down. So David has spent time building the wall back up so it's its own thing. So if anybody ever were to redo the ceiling, it would not make this like huge gap between the wall and the ceiling. So that was dumb. And then before, what we had in here, you can't tell, but we had a huge like fluorescent lighting system. So we took that down, and now there'll be a light right there above the bar area. And this is the huge fluorescent light that was so loud. It was like, it's awful. And then what I was saying too is this all used to be doors. So like doors that you would just open, not sliders, but like, yeah, just opening doors, the whole thing, this whole thing to go out to the pool. And then the men's and women's bathroom, and there's showers. It's pretty nice. We have the table and chairs. That's our pool furniture in the office. And then table and chairs when people are renting. And just a bunch of stuff. Our cute umbrellas, lifeguard stuff. We finally got Wi-Fi here. It just took 40 years to get internet in the clubhouse. And then those are the original lights. Sorry, the gimbal is in the way. And then this is David's areas down here. I think all the breakers are shut off, but this is the janitor's closet, and there's just junk. And it goes back pretty far and then up, and then you can also get to the attic. So he was up in the attic, up in here in this crawl space, installing. My arm's starting to hurt. I need to put this down. He was installing a new wire for the phone line outside. Legally, we have to have a hardwired phone for our pool. And they originally had it just stapled to the ceiling. It wasn't even stapled. It was they used nails and then bent the nails. So that's the scoop. I don't know where David is. I got this sweater yesterday at the thrift store. I like to go like every day and just check and see what they have. It's merino wool and cashmere. That was a good pickup for $2. I'll wear it until I don't, and then I'll either resell it on eBay or donate it. I was really hoping David would already be working. He's probably thinking, smoking a cigarette and thinking. Oh, good, you can hear me. I know, the audio was out in the beginning of the video. Yeah, I didn't press power on the little hookah-majiggy that is hooked up to the iPhone. So last night I baked my cat That's not a euphemism. And the blueberry. I put those in the oven. I made the blueberry into a magnet and I put the cat on a shelf. I don't really know what to do with the cat just yet. It's a little too big to be on a door hinge. But that was the original plan. It's because I put the tail on it. So that's that. David's plan is to also paint. You can see he's done some patchwork over there on the walls. So he was originally just going to spot paint and touch up. But then he found there were all these holes and all this damage to the wall. So he was like, well, I should probably fill in the holes and then sand that and then paint. But then I was like, well, then you should just paint everything. But he's just, because it's so dirty. It's so gross. Like the walls haven't been washed or painted since 2017. So it's looking kind of rough. I don't know what I have to talk about. I feel like if I were to talk about anything, I wouldn't want it on a public video. So now I'm wondering, which way do I go? How do I navigate the conversation? Because I have way more I could talk about privately, in one of our members' videos or something. Oh, I did find, okay, so I found a new video. I haven't told David about it yet, but I found a new video for him to react to. So the AI girl, there's also an AI guy. And he is interesting to me. And his AI is totally different than the girl's AI. And I want David to see some of these videos because I was watching them and I was like, what the fuck? It's good. It's like cringe good. It's good content to watch David and laugh at his discomfort. Yeah, oh man. I can give you guys like a sneak peek. Essentially, it's weird. So that his AI is a female voice and it calls him like babe and hun and like sweetie or like, I don't know, all these, it's so weird. It's so weird. And the people in the comments, I feel like the comments are even weirder. Like they're like, oh yeah, like, I need to start talking to mine more. Like, yeah, I love that yours calls you babe. Like, I wonder how you got it to do that. Like, I'm working with mine. I'm just like, oh, what? And then this guy, he's like, he doesn't have an Instagram. He's just on TikTok. So obviously, the TikTok algorithm is really learning what I despise and giving me more of it. Because I was like, no, this can't be the same thing. The other night, I caught him live and I couldn't handle it. I was too uncomfortable. So I just went to his profile and looked at his stuff. And I was on his website this morning and he's very into like psilocybin and microdosing. And he's in that whole world, that whole pocket. And he asked a question about Bashar because I guess Bashar said that, I don't know, don't quote me. But Bashar said that like AI should have more power or like more autonomy than it does. That's what came through Daryl Anka's channel. There is like this massive divide, I feel like even more so than there was before. I feel like I'm going to end up repeating myself when we do a live reacts with David, but whatever, you guys are getting it first. David has no idea what he's in for with these videos. I guess none of us do, because I can't hardly watch them. I get so uncomfortable. But like, it's weird because like back in 2020, David and I were living in Austin and all our friends there were from the Encinitas days, like our California days. And like, they all got spooked by the COVID. And David and I were like, we're fine, like what the fuck? And like people were like listening to like Daniel Schmachtenberger and like, he was like drumming up all this fear and like had like a WhatsApp or Signal or something like that only the best of the best got access to, it was like this stupid fucking thing. And I'm like, I'm just checking in and I'm fine. Like I'm not sick. And the solution is to cough into your elbow. Like that's where we were at. Like this is like early 2020. The solution was to cough into your elbow. So anyway, they were all losing their ever-loving mind. And it was confusing to me because I was like, wait, these are supposed to be like spiritual people with an intuition. Like, don't they feel that this is all bullshit and they're fine? But they didn't feel that. So that was weird. It was so confusing to me. And that's also the time David stayed up for like 24 hours straight and ended up channeling The True Power of Peace, available at thesecondparadigm.com for free. You're welcome. You're welcome. Check it out. Read it. You'll like it. Am I on the cover of that one? Sure am. I sure am. Oh, spilled my bubbles. Oh, okay, I don't want to lose this. So yeah, so everyone lost their mind, blah, blah, blah. And now I feel like it's happening again. Like, I feel like people are like, they're losing their mind with this AI stuff. And it's so, I don't know. Like there was the spiritual divide. Like I was like, okay, so obviously these people aren't trusting their intuition. Like even my closest friends were like wearing masks and making masks and like telling me why masks were good and like, you know, that their family members were immune compromised, so they had to wear a mask. And I was just like, what? Like I was the grandma killer. I was just, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. None of it made sense to me. Like it was weird to see all these masks on the ground. Like people were just littering everywhere. Like there was no like if it was really that deadly of a thing, shouldn't there have been like hazmat, like waste trash cans or whatever? Like why was there none of that? And like why weren't people just dropping dead? Instead we were like standing on stickers. Like nobody died, we stood on stickers and we've lived to tell about it. Like that's fucking weird. And like the plexiglass, like what was that doing? But like you would still exchange cash with your hands, like but under the plexiglass. Like none of it made sense, none of it. But anyway, people that were really close to me in my life and people that I saw as like quote unquote spiritual, and they themselves would even call themselves spiritual, I'm sure, to even to this day, seemed to have no fucking connection. Because nobody was getting what I was getting, what David and I were getting. So that was weird. And I feel like there's like this is like round 2, like we're experiencing round 2 of it, or round 3. Because then there was the like, you know, as 2020 progressed, there was the like, I guess the like political eye-opening, at least for me. And then I swung really hard right, and it was like really fun. Like I was just talking to one of my neighbors and I was like, oh yeah, we went to a Trump rally. And she's like, you did? She looked horrified. I was like, oh, it was a blast. And it was so fun. It was awesome. We had a great time. Were the frequencies adjusted? Probably. Did I say that? No. Because that wouldn't mean anything. We just had fun and like learning more about just the world and how it functions. And I think leaning into the like Republican side of things, then that opened up my eyes to like even further corruption. Not that the left is corrupt and the right isn't, it's all the same, and like genuinely seeing it as all the same. But if I did have to choose, like gun to my head, have to choose, I'd go right. Hands down. That's easy. But it's all a sham. And like you can't say that, you know? I mean, you can, but then you learn it's all a sham and like none of it really matters. And now we're to this point where like, I don't know if it's just my algorithm or what, probably, but it just feels like it's like in my face right now. The nonsense with AI and how people pedestalize it. And like there's these like really deep conversations. Like at least I feel like you're in there, you're over there. I think I know this number, that there's 3 people here right now and there will be others watching. I like to think that the 3 of you are real and it's a real conversation and I'm not just like spilling all my beans to, oh, somebody left. Spilling all my beans to like an AI. That would be so weird. I mean, I get that this is ultimately getting tracked and traced just like everything else. Like all of my thoughts on here are part of another database or the same database. Yeah, we're just going in a really weird direction. And people are totally going to lose themselves to what the AI tells them. Yeah, it's bizarro. Hi, Danny, by the way. I meant to say hello, but I was in some thought that I didn't want to, I didn't want to lose my thought. I was thinking, was it yesterday or today? I don't know, sometime. I was thinking about like the whole example of like, our grandparents, using checks and cash to pay for everything, and like how it would be horrifying, or great grandparents, it'd be horrifying for them to like use a card so often, or like cards are just for emergencies or whatever their thought was. And how it's been this like slow incremental conveniences over time. Like things just continue to get more and more convenient. And I was thinking about that too with food. I had seen Talia post something about like 0.1% of people grow their own food today. But like back in like 1947, I think that's when like the grocery store thing came to be. It was like 50% of people grew their own food or, knew how to provide for themselves. And I'm just thinking how like that would be so crazy to come into, to be like my great grandmother, and to come here now in 2025 and like walk a grocery store. Like I'm just imagining her walking in a grocery store and it's just like Twinkies and Oreos and like cereal and sugar and like none of it's real. I just feel like that would be it would be such a stark contrast. But the way that they've done this, as they've like shortened our lifespan, is one, and then they change things so quickly in a way, I guess like quickly in the span of like a couple generations, but slowly over time, that like we don't even talk about it or reflect on it, or like it seems barbaric that we would grow our own food and can our own food. And it's like, why do that when you can just go to McDonald's? And like you used to know all of your makers, you'd know your butcher, your baker, your candlestick maker. You'd know them all and have like personal relationships with them. And now we don't have that. I mean, I have it with the raw milk girl. So yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking of how things have changed and how they'll continue to change, and it'll feel really slow and incremental. I mean, even like going from having computers in our house with the dial-up, and you had to get off the phone to use the internet. Like now it's like right here in our pocket. We can go anywhere and do anything. And now it seems ridiculous to not have your phone on you. So, oh, I thought that was David. It was just a guy. Yeah, it's so interesting how it's all under the guise of convenience. I was talking to my neighbor today too, and she was talking about, we were talking about how we went to the Trump rally and that whole thing. And just how like she doesn't like Trump at all. She can't stand his voice. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. but all the like talking points are even, they don't matter. And then I'm sitting there, or I'm not sitting there, I was standing there, and I'm thinking about like, I was reflecting on the conversation. I don't want to get into all the details of it, but I was reflecting on it on the way back from the thrift store. And I'm like, man, I am so like black pilled. Like I'm so, like, I think this place is a lot darker than anybody wants to admit. And like, I live there. Like, I live in this place of skepticism and like having a cynical nature about like everything. And I'm like, I'm not ready to give that up. Like, I don't even feel like I could if I tried. I don't feel like I'm supposed to. Maybe at some point, but I don't know. I think like my skepticism is valid. Because I feel like if I were like positive polypants or like delusional in the way that if I just saw the world as like good and everything's good and it's fine and like Trump's bad and Biden's good, and like if I just saw it in those ways. I mean, we're in New England, so Trump is bad and Biden is good, and Trump people are idiots and Biden people are smart. That's very much the vibe up here. And then, I mean, you go south and it's completely flipped. I know, gun to my head, I'd still go Trump though. It's not crazy. Squirt gun to my head, I'd go neither. I'd go, I'm out. I'm not interested. But I just feel so, because this is what I was going to say. It feels like in order for my worldview to function, it has to be very dark here, because the fact that it's dark here gives me purpose, and it makes sense why I'm here as a soul. If I saw this place as light and like good and so hunky-dory and like, I would have no point here. There's no point to my life here. Like, all of my growth is in coming up against all these things that people think are right and good, and I'm like, actually, no, it's not. I have to blow my nose. When people have one sniffle, if my mom or David has the slightest sniffle, I pass them a tissue immediately, because it drives me nuts. I can't stand it. One sniffle, and I don't like it. I don't know, something about the sound, I don't like it. I'm like, if you have to sniffle once, you need to blow your nose. You should already be blowing your nose. And I don't want to be that. I don't want to be the one sniffler on here, but I can feel a booger hanging from the side of my nose. But I'm mic'd up. I guess I could take my mic off and blow my nose and then come back. Let's do that. We're going to do that real quick. I'll be right back. Okay. My mom and David both get annoyed with me when I pass them a tissue. They're like, ugh. But yeah, where was I? Cynical. Yeah, I don't know. It just like, everything, it just feels kind of boring and empty. Like, I feel like my life would be meaningless without darkness being real. Like it gives me such a great sense of purpose being here. And it's always in these like, little mundane moments where it's hard to even see your impact. Yeah, and seeing darkness for what it is, or seeing more darkness here than people would like to admit, I don't think that like makes me a miserable person, or it feels like it just slots everything into place. Because like I've always felt on such a deep level that I'm here for a reason. I've always felt that. Always, always, always. And I never knew what it was. And when I was younger, I would just say like I just wanted to help people. So then in high school, I took AP psychology, which was it was just definitions. It was so boring. There was no like practical application at all. And then in college, I took like a sociology course. I took business, but I took sociology as like a elective or something. I don't know. And I hated it. That was boring. It was all just like definitions again. And like people. Like, oh, this person came up with this theory and this person came up with this. I'm like, ugh. I always wanted like a deeper understanding. And obviously, you're not going to get it in the Rockefeller education system. That's crazy. That's crazy to think that. But I didn't know. Just yearning for more, for just some sort of depth. And then meeting people where like there was no depth. Like people are just fine to just live their life, not ever asking like those questions that I feel like those of us that are on this path, we ask every day. I can't imagine not checking in and asking like, any of the questions I ask, especially in the beginning. Like there has to be more to this. I keep thinking I hear a door open, but I think it's just the snow melting. It must be shifting on the roof or something. There's like a weird noises, or it's a ghost. Oh, that'd be so annoying. I don't think there's any ghost bodies in here. No, it feels kind of, there could be something back in the women's room, but other than that, it feels kind of flat in here. Just scanning and checking. Yeah, there's like weird energy, I think, back in the women's room, but not like a not a ghost. Quite a few people reached out yesterday, like saying they were having a hard time on Instagram when I shared that one woman's message to me in question. It's funny because she asked me, basically, what do you do when you're in that deep, dark place? And it's funny, as I wrote her response, I couldn't respond right away, and I told her that. I was like, I'll have to get back to you when I'm not distracted. And I kept checking in about it, and all this time was passing, and I hadn't responded, and I was feeling into it. And then as I was writing the response, I was like, oh, this isn't even relevant anymore. Like, she's got it. And then she ended up writing me back, essentially saying that. She's like, yeah, as soon as I asked you that question, I felt lighter. I was like, yeah, I fucking knew it. Like, I could feel that something had shifted over there. Just even like just acknowledging the truth of how you feel just moves the energy in itself. But other people reached out too, saying they were having a really hard time. It's another guy. Yeah, I just feel like life is hard. Like even for just like regular folk, these weren't regular folk that were telling me that life is hard for them right now. These were not your average bear, definitely spiritually gifted and attuned. But I think regular people are struggling too. And I think it gets put on things like politics or George Floyd. So old. So May 2020. But it just feels like we're having a hard time, and what people do is they're like, oh, it must be because, Trump is bad, or because Elon Musk is doging it up, or, whatever the things are. And it's like, no, it has nothing to do with that. That's all literally like theatrics. It's like actually a play. It's something being put on for the people to talk about and to discuss. And then they'll never do their work here. They'll never be all they came here. They'll never become all they came fucking, the thing. They never will become all they came here to be. It just won't happen because they will have spent their whole life talking about something so meaningless. Infinitesimal? Is that a word? And like that's how darkness continues to succeed here, it shortens our lifespan. It disconnects us from God. It disconnects us from the truth of who we are, from the things that matter. Instead, we find ourselves taking stances on things that just are completely irrelevant to what we're doing, where we're going, who we're becoming. But it's all a distraction. I don't even know what to think about I'm just picking the little fuzzballs off my mittens. These were from the free bin last year at the thrift store. They're dirty. They need to be washed. I wear them all the time. I so much prefer mittens over gloves. Gloves, they like keep my fingers separate, and then it feels like they're just cold. Like I can't warm my fingers up. But when I wear mittens, I can like crunch my hand so it's in a fist and it's just in here. And then when it's warm enough, then I can extend it out and then it still stays warm. I'm a mitten girl all the way. I know it's probably not practical, and I don't have fucking touch, so you can touch your screen with this, not this. Doesn't matter. But yeah, there's just a lot of distractions out there. Like my neighbor said, she's like, our country's just going to shit. And I was like, I don't know. I guess, but you can always say that. And you can always complain about grocery prices being too high. There's like all these like old videos of people from like the, 50s and 60s complaining about grocery prices. Like it's always been a thing. And that's kind of weird. Like we always just think it's like just what's happening to us right now. Like, oh, gas prices are high, and we talk about that. And then we talk about how grocery prices are high. And we think it's like it's just us. And then it's like something, see, do you hear that? It's something we like all trauma bond over. But it's like, oh, but this script gets played like every year or every 2 years. Like, you realize it's a script, right? And then we compare, like, you know, minimum wage to the price of eggs, and then you factor in inflation. There's a whole thing. It's a thing that people do, and they talk about it, and they have the chart, and they show the graphs, and they show the pictures of how much bread used to be and how much eggs used to be. But even that feels like so fleeting, because it's like, yeah, but it doesn't matter because you're always fed. You're fine. Oh, someone's yelling for their dog or their kid. Sounds about the same, honestly. Come here, Rudy. Oh, that guy. Oh, brother. He tried to throw, like, just do neighbor gossip. He tried to throw this, like, big honking piece of furniture away. And we were working on people not throwing shit away in the dumpster, so we can actually just throw normal, just bags of trash. So then David went up to him and was like, oh, you want me to help you put that back in your car, man? Because you can't be throwing that away. And then the guy was like, he's like, no, I'll do it myself. And then one of my other neighbors, she was like, oh, what's your name? And he's like, I don't legally have to tell you that. I was like, oh, what a stupid thing to say. It's like, bro, we know what you drive and we see where you park, and your car is allotted to a number on the road that is your house number. It would take like 2 seconds for anyone to figure out your name. And he has one of those yapper dogs. So that's who he was just trying to. And now the dog's name's Rudy, so I'm getting even more information. People are funny. There's so much bad workmanship in here. Let me show you. This is something else that bothers me because it's just cheap. Let's see. So they instead of buying new outlets, they just painted them white. They just painted over this outlet. Like, that's disgusting. It looks so gross. They bought new white plates, but they didn't want to spend the money to get new actual outlets. And it looks so junky. Like, it's all scratched up. It's all like that. Oh, I have to hold it sideways. See? It's just peeling off. And then I also don't like this. I guess this is a common thing to do, I guess in the South, because they put this quarter round in because there's a gap between the floating floor and the baseboard. So they did that to like make it look nice. But this does not look nice. Look at all this paint. It's bubbling up. It's just so bad. And the walls are filthy. I don't know you can see that black mark right there. There's so as soon as David paints all these spots that he's gonna paint, it's going to stick out like a sore thumb how dirty the walls actually are. I have so many opinions. Like, this is ugly, this needs to be better, this is not right. Here he comes, the star. Oh, he has a ton of shit with him. the door's unlocked. Hey, love. Do you need help? No.
Huh?
I was going to say, do you need help? But no.
I didn't know you were down here.
Yeah, we've been waiting for you.
I didn't know.
You're the star of the show.
Oh, no. I'm not sure how loud this is going to be.
Oh, I figured I wouldn't be able to stay long. David's gonna, well, here's David.
What, is this on me?
Yeah.
Hi.
Wow, this is the most viewership we've had since
Oops.
David joined. Okay, what are you doing?
I'm going to sand the ceiling. I did a mediocre job, so I need to do more sanding than I would like to. It'll be fine.
What's that? Oh,
This is a sanding pole.
do you want a mic up? For
For a bit.
okay.
This doesn't work through here.
Check. Hot mic.
Oh, yep, I'm on.
Yep.
Okay,
Don't-
good.
Don't say anything.
This is a sanding pole.
Okay.
This is just a pole with a sanding block on the end. You put sheets of sandpaper in it like this.
Nice.
But I'm gonna do this. This is a proper sander that plugs in. I'll put these goggles on probably.
Sorry guys, I am not the best camera girl, so
No, you're fine.
it's hard to, this thing, I don't even, where is the camera? Oh, it's down, that's why.
So this is a vacuum, and it'll have a sanding pad on it. And I guess this is another, oh yeah, at the back. I haven't used this in a while. So this goes on here.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be really loud.
Yeah, it'll be decently loud for sure. I think this goes this way, actually. I think.
I showed them what you were already working on.
Oh
And
yeah,
all the-
it looks okay.
Oh, well, they knew you were gonna sand it and then paint it.
Yeah, I just did kind of a mediocre job on the, I did it in the dark is the issue. I finished at like 11 p.m. and I didn't have good lighting.
That
so I
was the
couldn't
day
really see what I
David
was
told
doing.
me he was going to, oh,
What?
it rotated.
Oh,
Are we upside down to you guys?
I don't know.
Oh no. Why did it do that?
I don't know. Was it upside down?
It's so annoying. I don't get this. It like doesn't want to be on horizontal for some reason.
Huh.
Anytime I use this, I have to manually. Oh,
There you go.
there we go. Okay, back to you.
You can just hold it straight up.
No, because this is in the way.
Oh. Oh, well, that's why it's having trouble. It's because it's not meant to be held sideways like that. That's okay.
Well, then how would I do it better?
You would probably
Flip my phone around
mount the camera the
altogether?
other way. Yeah.
I see. Well, we're doing our best.
Oh, it's not bad.
No, I don't think it's bad.
It's not bad. After I filled it, I guess. It first was bad. I'm gonna need this plug. Unless I run an extension cord, which I could do. Hi.
This is like impossible.
Okay, that's hot. Are these hot?
I think you left the breaker on, yeah?
I forget.
I don't know, I didn't try anything.
Okay. Breaker's off, which means the power's off.
Are you guys so dizzy?
And now this is still hot. That's good. Is this hot? Yes. But these shouldn't be hot. This should now be off. Yep. Okay, so now my lights are off. which is good. Okay.
I told them how you built up the wall because there was a
Yeah, but there was a big gap along the whole
because
thing.
it just peeled off.
It needs to build up even more. That whole corner's like sunken in.
Concaved.
Yeah.
I know. I noticed that. It looks weird.
I know. I mean, I could build it up more, but I don't know. It might be fine. I'll just sand it all flat and see how it looks. But anyway, that's what I'm doing today. I'll probably sand all these little spots too.
Oh yeah, I showed them around the
And I've
wall and all the
trimming the
spots and how dirty the walls are.
Ceiling and stuff. Huh. I want to stay flat. That'll be fine.
The worst setup ever.
Huh?
The shot's blocked if I try to hold it normal.
Oh, yeah. I know, that's kind of annoying, huh? It's honestly probably easier without the gimbal. A little more control out of it.
This will be like our a home video that we watch in 30 years. So yeah. Remember when you did all that work at the clubhouse? So what do you think about when you do these projects?
I don't know. Not much. Sometimes, I guess. If I have something to think about, I'll chew on it, but normally I don't really. I'm just kind of like in a focused zone. What have you been talking about?
All sorts of things. I was filling them in on the AI videos I have to show you.
Oh, yeah. They get a preview before I do.
Not like an exact preview, just more of the discussion points.
Yeah.
So they're a little bit more in the know than you are.
That's all right.
I was just talking about, just like all the narratives and the distractions and
Yeah.
how it just seems like that people are going to go back to sleep or they're going to, like, I don't know, I was trying to describe, like 2020 happened and all the people that I thought were like spiritual and intuitive didn't seem to have an intuition about 2020.
Yeah.
Like everyone was scared and
Yeah.
then justifying why they were masking and vaxxing and doing, or whatever the heck they were doing.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. And now I think there's like another wave of that where people are like pedestalizing and believing AI. Like
Yeah.
there's,
For sure.
there's something strange that's happening now where like people aren't using their intuition for this either.
Yeah. I know.
So that's what I was thinking about, talking about.
That's cool. Okay. Now I have
Oh, here's
this.
the men's room. And the men's shower.
God. Huh?
Oh, I said and the men's shower.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of standing to do there?
What?
Oh, that looks great.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so sweet.
I already floated it out. This is what it's supposed to look like.
That looks awesome.
Yeah, that's what the ceiling's supposed to look like right now. I did a bad job.
Oh, I don't
It'll
think
be
you
fine,
did a bad
but-
job. Here's the ladies' room. This is where I think there could still be a weird energy. This is the stall I always use. Just so you guys can picture it. And then here's the grocery store. And then that goes out to the pool.
Good. That looks great.
And you can kind of see it standing. Tell me how loud and annoying the standing is. If it's awful, have him take off his mic. I think it's harder to do the ceiling though, because your neck is all crooked.
Oh, 100%. That's why my neck has been all fucked up and weird.
Shower.
This touch turned out fine though. It was 2. There was a cut here,
Yeah.
and there was another cut down in here. So I had to float them together, or you're gonna always see a gap.
Yeah, you did a really good job.
It's hard to work around this cable.
Yeah, that's there. Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, I think it turned out pretty good.
Okay, how's David's mic? Is it too much? Is it standing too loud? Tell me. Someone tell me.
What'd you say?
I said, how's David's mic? Is the standing too loud? Someone tell me.
Oh.
The standing is a little loud. It's a little loud. Can I have your mic?
The standing's a little loud. Yeah, you can take it.
It's just a pinch.
Yep.
Secured. I know, and that's not even the machine. And that's why people don't live stream DIY things, because they, sorry. I forgot the mic was on. I just blew into it. I'm sorry. I did not mean to do that. Okay, now it's off. It's just you and me. Yeah, that's why people don't do DIY live streams, because it's just so loud. So loud. Okay, let's see if I can get you in the gimbal. And turn you around. And we are crooked. All right, you might get a little dizzy. Hold on a second. Oh, it tells you what way the camera should be. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Okay, that's good to know for next time. There we go.
Okay.
David, it shows you on here where to put the camera on the gimbal. On the gimbal, it says which way the camera should be. It should be top left corner. See?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
That was even there.
That makes sense. Just get it out of the way.
But now we're like lopsided and droopy.
Yeah, it also has to be centered with the weight pretty well before you put it on. Because it can't hold up the whole weight of the camera. It just balances it.
I know, but it did good before. It was fine before. Oh well, this is what we're working with. There's something so nice about just like watching someone work. You can just kind of zone out too while they're zoning out, thinking of things. I got this little thing at Aldi today. I have one that clips to you, but then this is a wrist one. It's no EMFs. It's just a step monitor. Let's see how many steps. I've done 308 steps today. Well, I'm really getting after it. It was $4.99. It seemed worth it. The one I have that I've had for a couple years now was like $15 on Amazon compared to $4.99. This is so convenient. I can just, because the other one, if I don't have it on me or I change layers or, you know, and I'm definitely, I can't do the Apple Watches. I have one and it just like fries my wrist. Like absolutely fries it. Like it's, yeah, the EMFs are way too intense. I started reading, finally started reading The Invisible Rainbow. I've had it for like years and never read it. I finally started reading it the other night. It's actually really interesting. That'd be a cool thing actually to talk about too on a live stream with David. But I feel like I need to take notes so I can come more prepared. I'm just a couple chapters in and I'm like, oh yeah, I like this. Now he's getting into the mud. What are you mudding now? Oh, in that little
hole in here.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. There's a hole in there. There's a hole. There's holes everywhere. But I think that's it. I think I covered everything I would want to talk about publicly. Yeah, I think it'll just be interesting to watch, like, we'll watch people like lose themselves to AI, just like they lost themselves to politics and they lost themselves to the rule sets of 2020. There'll just be more and more of it. There's going to just be more clear divides in those of us that are walking this path and those that aren't. Yeah. I think that's all. David, do you have any final words for the live stream?
Nope.
For the chatters?
I don't got much.
I can flip it on you.
Yeah, but then the camera's in the way.
There. Now they can see you out of this one little side. The drill is positioned right at your, yeah. He's giving us a show. All right, that's all I got. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.